It's summertime, so I had to break out my collection of some of my favorite black owned scents that I think are perfect for this warm, hot, sticky weather. Whether you're going to a day party, a boat party, yacht party, going on vacation, I got you covered. Hi, I'm Britt, and welcome back to my channel. It's summertime, and who would I be if I did not come talk to you guys about some beautiful black owned fragrances for the summer? So stick around and watch this video. So I'm going to start off with my little travel sizes. I actually have 8 fragrances here I'm going to talk about. I'm going to start off with my little travel sizes first. First one I'm going to talk about is R&B. R&B from Zernell Gillie is this juicy tropical explosion of a fragrance. It does not come across juvenile. You know how sometimes a lot of fruity forward fragrances or fragrances that are very fruity in the opening can come across a little juvenile? No, this is elevated, it's sophisticated. I don't want to say mature as in like, you know how some people like to use the term like mature to describe like old lady fragrances. No, this is mature, meaning this is for the grown and sexy. That is exactly what this is. This is for the grown and sexy. Even though this starts off quite juicy, quite fun, quite vibrant, as it wears and it takes you on this scent journey, it becomes a little creamy. There is white chocolate, I want to say Bulgarian rose in this. Let me look really quick. There's notes of honey, tangerine, guava, papaya, Bulgarian white rose, osmanthus, open ox, white chocolate, cedar, and amberwood. So once you get past that fruity opening, kind of as it wears, you get this creamy, cozy scent profile, and the dry down is quite warm and inviting and sultry and woody. This is marketed as unisex, and I do agree that this is more of a unisex scent if you ask me. I'm also one of those people, I am under the guise and recommendation where you want, how you want, wherever you want to wear it to, with some modifications regardless of how it's marketed. There's also this note of, I am going to butcher this note, opopanox, and I've noticed when I've smelled that in fragrances, it adds a little bit of a sharpness, a little tartness to it that I'm picking up on, but beautiful scent nonetheless. I will for sure be getting a full-size bottle of this. Next up, we have Oratory by Savoir. If you are someone who loves a good aromatic fragrance, a good clean aromatic fragrance that still packs a punch, this is going to be for you. I find this to be a little more masculine leaning. Savoir markets their fragrances as unisex. I do find that most people would consider this to be more masculine leaning, but my God, is this a beautiful fragrance? Is this a beautiful fragrance? Notes of guaiac wood, patchouli, grapefruit, violet, blood orange, sandalwood, bergamot, orris. There's an aquatic accord, cypriol heart, musk, amber, as well as Haitian vetiver. Now, to my nose, I pick up on a lot of the sandalwood, and I love that. I love a good sandalwood fragrance. I do get the patchouli, and I have a one-sided beef with patchouli, depending on how it's blended. It really turns me off from a fragrance, but the way it is blended in here is so beautiful. That aquatic accord makes this perfect for the summer. It makes me think of a man on a beach, a man on a boat, a man at a yacht party. I definitely see this being appealing to the guys. And I do like this. I don't know if it's something that like I would routinely wear for myself, but generally speaking, I think this is an absolutely gorgeous fragrance for the summer. And even though it airs on like more of the aquatic / clean side, it still packs a punch. Even though this packs a punch, it is not one of those fragrances that becomes overwhelming. You know how sometimes like when people overspray Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage Dior, it becomes intense, unbearable. I don't get that with this. I do not get that with this. So this one is for the guys or just someone who might like a more masculine leaning scent. This is going to be nice. It's my first full-size bottle. I have Pas Encore Nomme by Pink Mahogany. This fragrance holds a special place in my heart because it is one of the first fragrances that I purchased from a black-owned brand when I started getting into fragrance collecting. And this is a perfect tropical pineapple pina colada-esque fragrance for the summer, if that is what you're looking for. So from what I recall, there's notes of pineapple, malt, vanilla. This makes me think of sitting on the beach drinking a pina colada. There's that tropical fruitiness from the pineapple, but again, it's not that juvenile tropical scent that you might smell. It's refreshing in a way. I don't know how perfumers are able to do this where they make or create that refreshing feel that you get from scents, but that is what I get with this. It's a little creamy, and I want to say there might be coconut. If it does not have coconut in it, it makes you think of that it has coconut in it. And that in combination with the pineapple just makes me think of a pina colada. Like I just need to be on somebody's beach, laid out in the sun, feet in the sand, with a drink in hand. One of my new babies to my collection that I have just really been eating up and enjoying wearing is Rise by Leier. Leier is a brand that I was introduced to earlier this year. And I have been loving them. I own about 3 out of the 4 fragrances that they have. Black owned, woman owned brand. And Rise is that very vibrant, fruity, musky scent. It is a little airy, and it is musky, sort of your skin, but better. But those fruity notes just take it up a notch. There's notes of dewy pear, green tea, green mandarin, peach, mimosa flower, violet, vibrant rose, iris, neroli, marigold, cedarwood, vetiver, patchouli, vanilla, tonka bean, and oak moss. I have talked about this fragrance, I believe I did maybe here. If not, it was on one of my other social media platforms. I have talked about this fragrance before. But this is for that individual who loves a good musky, your skin but better scent, but just wants a little bit extra with it. They like the clean scents. They don't like anything too intense, not anything too bold, but something that's still a little bit of a statement maker in its own way. And that is what this gives. That is dewy and vibrant and fruity and just such an easy wear. Continuing on with our clean, your skin but better, musky, dewy scents, I have Forvrmood, You Remind Me. I want to say this was probably the second fragrance that I picked up from the brand. And again, another your skin but better, fruity, musky scent. Now this one I want to say has apricot skin in it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yes, I was like partially correct. It has apricot nectar. So there's apricot nectar, Italian mandarin, orange flower, jasmine, vanilla orchid, and sensual musk. It's your skin but better, but it has a little bit of a sensuality to it. And it literally makes you think of just smelling your loved one, that person you are deeply in love with. It makes you think of just burying your face in their neck and just breathing them in. Are down to 3. And I've talked about this fragrance before, and I probably will continue to shove this fragrance in y'all face and talk about it all the time. And that is Sunset and Tamarindo by Chris Collins. At least I think I talked about this on here. I know I talk about it a lot on my other social medias. This is a blind buy and one of my best blind buys that I have ever done. But this is Sunset and Tamarindo by Chris Collins. It is a very mango and papaya forward fragrance, but it's juicy, delectable, luscious, vibrant. It makes me feel like the center of attention, honestly, when I wear it. Notes of mandarin, mango, papaya, davana, ylang ylang, frangipani, osmanthus, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. Now, on my skin, it's fruits. I get all the fruits, so it's like a more of a fruity floral fragrance, just based off of the description. But on my skin, it's just tropical, fruity deliciousness. When I say I can overspray this, easily overspray this, and not overwhelm myself, you don't have to overspray it. At least in my opinion, you don't have to overspray it, but I'm chronically an oversprayer. So when I overspray this, it does not choke me out. It does not choke other people out, but you're going to smell it. But when I say I was immediately in love with this, I could not put this down. Summertime is the time of the fairs, the county fairs, the rides, the vibe. And one fragrance that I think just perfectly encapsulates that or bottles it up is Brown Girl Jane's Carousel. And I think that was the whole inspiration behind this fragrance, if I'm not mistaken. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. There we go. Oh, okay, and you fell out of focus. But this is one of my favorites from Brown Girl Jane. It's just fun. It is fun. It is youthful. And what I mean by youthful, it just makes me think of a time when I was younger. Like, it doesn't smell juvenile, but just takes me back to a time when I was younger. Life was less complicated and far less expensive. Caramelized apple, sparkling black currant, sugar, spun sugar, lily of the valley, coral rose, orange blossom, sandalwood, cloud musk, and so I would say overall this fragrance on my skin leans a little more sweeter, but is not cloying sweet. That's why I think it's still perfect to wear in the summer. But that caramelized apple just makes me so happy. Even though it is sweet, it has a little bit of an airiness to it. And there's sandalwood. You cannot go wrong with the creamy sandalwood. Sandalwood is one of my favorite notes. So again, I find this to be quite youthful, but not juvenile. And I say youthful because it just takes me back to when I was younger, and just the vibes that it gives, the liveliness, how vibrant it is, how fun it is. If you are looking for a fun summertime scent, or if you know someone who's trying to start their fragrance collection, I think this is a good one to look into. And then lastly, the newest addition to my collection out of all of these, and one that I am really excited to wear this summer, I have City Rhythm's 86.41. So this is a combination, I think, or like their inspiration of their scents, Puerto Rico and St. John. And I believe it's supposed to be the distance between the islands, if I'm not mistaken. So I just double checked. 86.41 represents the miles between Puerto Rico and St. John. If you're not familiar with City Rhythm, all of their fragrances are based off of cities that the owner has either been to or is just inspired by. So this is a collaboration, not a collaboration. So this is kind of their perfect mixture of their scent Puerto Rico as well as their scent St. John. Introduced to this fragrance by one of my friends that I made on TikTok. I was in her city, we went perfume sniffing, and she had this. She gave me a sample, and when I tell you I ran through that sample so quickly, and the brand did end up sending this to me, so this is a gifted fragrance, but nonetheless, I plan on buying this myself. Because this is such a grown and sexy and sophisticated tropical scent. And I get this out of my mind when I first got it. And then I also like that they add the little shimmers. You can kind of see the shift of the shimmers. I like that a lot of their fragrances have that. I think that just adds a little bit of extraness, a little bit of cuteness, branding to the brand. I love when brands have their own like branding, like little things that you can point out or recognize whenever you see their fragrances. So there's mango milk, guava, pineapple, quince, coconut pulp, lime, cane sugar, melon, milky vanilla, ambergris, driftwood, and rum. Rum is one of my favorite notes. Rum is one of my favorite notes. And the mango and guava in this. I have been begging for brands to put out more guava forward fragrances. They did that so well with this scent. If I am going to be on a boat party, a yacht party, this is the scent that I am reaching for. You just cannot go wrong with this. And date night, perfect date night. So this has multiple occasions that you can use this scent for, and it definitely made me want to check out more from City Rhythm. So City Rhythm is definitely going to be one of those brands that I pick up some more scents from, and they do have travel sizes, and I like they have multiple sizes of their bottles. I think they do like a 10 ml, 30 ml, 50 ml, and 100 if I'm not mistaken. With this 86.41, yeah, they did the damn thing with this one. Out of all the ones that I discussed today, if I can only recommend 3 to you, for a tropical one, I would say 86.41 by City Rhythm. If you want a Your Skin But Better scent, I am going to have to go with Rise by Leier. And then just one that is great for sort of any or every occasion, something a little different. I am going to go with, it's kind of a tie between Carousel by Brown Girl Jane and R&B by Zernell Gillie. It was a little bit of a longer video today, but these are all my recommendations for some beautiful, unique, delicious, bold.
Editing Brittany here. I don't know what happened to the rest of the video. It just disappeared. Not sure what happened, but yeah, so it just kind of abruptly ends. But if you have any recommendations, please let me know, and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.